Chief Secretary calls for greater economic diversification amid Dragon gas deal failure. Over 1,000 Tobago students to sit SEA exams tomorrow. Search warrant against Dr. Faith Brebner struck down and 60 Tobagonians received housing subsidies. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards. Welcome to the Tobago Updates television news for Wednesday, 9th April 2025. To our top story this evening. The loss of the Dragon gas deal is nothing to celebrate, according to Chief Secretary and political leader of the TPP, Farley Augustine. Speaking on a political platform in Plymouth last night, he said it's unfortunate that the prosperity of small countries like Trinidad and Tobago is often dictated by larger nations. Still, he believes the situation sends a strong signal about the urgent need for economic diversification. More in this story from Candice Jackson.
Chief Secretary and TPP political leader Farley Augustine said now is not the time to blame any government for the failure of the Dragon gas deal with Venezuela.
And it is so unfortunate that for us, we live in a part of the world where other countries bigger than we are, can actually determine our prosperity and our future.
Instead, Augustine believes that now more than ever, efforts to diversify the economy are crucial. He argued that Tobago is well positioned to lead the country in this effort, starting with the revitalization of the cocoa industry.
It is no secret that other countries and companies purchase our cocoa to mix with commodity grade cocoa, so that it will get that rich flavor that we have.
Augustine said the THA has already begun groundwork to revitalize cocoa estates in Charlottesville and Lear. Meanwhile, he noted that tourism is another key area for diversification, but it requires proper funding. That is why he argued that TPP's candidates are the most prepared to ensure the central government gives the THA the support it needs to move tourism forward.
If we are to develop this product, the country as a whole must see our tourism product as being important, and that goes beyond just bringing a Sanders resort here. The actual product must be developed, and that costs something.
The Chief Secretary reiterated his support for Sandals and expressed optimism, noting that their second attempt at investing in Tobago appears to be more collaborative than the previous one. He also stressed the need to attract more foreign direct investment. However, he pointed out that this remains challenging as long as the Land License Act is still in effect.
And so in us encouraging foreign direct investment, we are saying through Joel Sampson and David Thomas that we need to reverse that land license regime and allow the agencies of states such as Town and Country Planning and EMA and all those responsible for spatial planning on the island to dictate where the investments go and to control the market.
Augustine said it is time the country acknowledges the consequences of continually relying on the energy sector for economic prosperity and begins to consider how Tobago can be supported in driving diversification. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
On Tuesday, Prime Minister Stuart Young announced that under the current Trump administration, the OFAC license previously granted to Trinidad and Tobago had been revoked. As a result, the long-anticipated Dragon gas deal with Venezuela is now officially off the table. In response to this latest development, the political leader of the PNM Tobago Council, Ansel Dennis, noted that this is not merely a government issue, but a national one. He warned that the decision would have serious repercussions for the entire country. Joe Shaldan tells us more.
Speaking at a PNM public meeting at Castara last night, Ansel Dennis argued that Tobago's tourism sector will become critical after the revocation of the OFAC license, since the Dragon gas deal between the governments of Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela is now off the table. He expressed dissatisfaction with UNC supporters who have been celebrating the loss and stated that this will not only affect the government but the country in its entirety.
Go to Facebook now and you will see the UNC and their supporters celebrating that, as if it's only the government will feel the effects of that, as if it's only PNM people will feel the effects of that. And I'm saying anything that jeopardizes the economic progress of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, every single citizen will feel the effects of it.
He assured the public that the deal's failure is not a reflection of the government, but a change in policies from the Joe Biden administration to the Trump administration.
So this has nothing to do with any failure on the part of any government. A previous U.S. government agreed with it. The new one decided that they want to change their mind, and they pulled back the license. So that simply means that we have to look for alternatives.
Dennis declared that the People's National Movement is ready to provide the leadership the country needs at this critical time.
But the future of Trinidad and Tobago's economy is gas. And while we have some gas reserves, the reality is there is a need for us to improve our gas production. And that is why this government came up with the brilliant idea to partner with the government of Venezuela.
Joshel Dan, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Deputy political leader of the UNC, David Lee, stated that any deal with Venezuela to exploit gas within the Dragon Gas and Coquina Manakin fields was always risky. He made these remarks in response to the U.S. government's revocation of the OFAC licenses amid escalating sanctions against Venezuela. Lee stressed that regardless of who was president of the United States, it was always going to be a risk for Trinidad and Tobago to proceed with the deal.
You could have negotiated with Maduro and negotiate properly and transparently and accountable to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and at the same time incentivize our energy companies in Trinidad and Tobago to continue the exploration of oil and gas for our downstream and for our export revenue.
Despite this, he stated that the UNC is not pleased that Trinidad and Tobago will miss out on potential economic prosperity due to the revocation of the licenses. While the party has been critical of the deal since 2016, he insisted that their primary concern was the lack of transparency regarding the deal's details, which were never made public. He also pointed out that the government failed to provide substantial support to the local energy sector.
But we have said time and time again, if you put all your eggs and bank on Maduro, it could never be a good risk. That was always considered to be a bad risk, given the volatility of that Maduro administration with the world.
Although Prime Minister Stuart Young indicated that the energy industry remains viable through local production from other fields, Lee expressed doubt, stating he doesn't believe the central government has done enough to ensure the industry is properly positioned for success. He expressed growing concern about the future of the country's energy industry and stated that he is now very worried about its prospects. We'll take a short break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
To our persons with disabilities, to our vulnerable citizens, to the men, women, boys and girls of Trinidad and Tobago, I remain your humble servant, your strong advocate in the Parliament and around the Cabinet table. And I'm asking you, if you have been on this journey with me, to please let us continue together. But if you haven't been on this journey with me, I'm humbly asking you to join the movement. We are all in. We all in for Trinidad and Tobago. We are about the business of the people, whether you live with a disability, whether you're an NGO, whether you're a faith-based organization, whether you're just a man, a woman, or a child in our country, we care. And we're committed to making this place a better place for each and every one of us. So on Election Day, I humbly ask for your support so that Team PNM can continue to transform Trinidad and Tobago with your help.
That was a paid political advertisement.
It's the premier red carpet extravaganza. Tobago Fashion Coda is back with a bang, bringing with it quintessential style where runway meets rhythm. Come see the icons of Caribbean couture, showcasing the trailblazing fashions of Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago Fashion Coda 7 promises an unforgettable experience on the 18th of April 2025 at Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, a premium all-inclusive fashion soiree where runway meets rhythm.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
Welcome back. The Division of Education, Research and Technology extends best wishes to 1,006 Tobago students, 551 boys and 455 girls who will sit the SEA exams tomorrow. In preparation for the exams, the Student Support Services Unit hosted its annual SEA Caravan, offering practical guidance and motivation through engaging dramatic presentations. The initiative aimed to boost the students' confidence and equip them with essential exam strategies. Corporate partners, including John Dickinson and Company, Very Exciting Things Limited, and Digicel TNT, also contributed tokens of encouragement to the students. Well, many students will be sitting behind their desks tomorrow as they write the secondary entrance assessment examination. Minister of Education Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly said that although this is a great milestone, it is not the end of the world.
We want to congratulate you for reaching this point and to thank your parents, your teachers, your principals for working with you to reach here. But we want you to remember, although SEA is very important, it is not the end of your educational journey.
She congratulated all involved and gave a word of encouragement to all the parties involved.
So, take a deep breath, take this step, stay focused, and do your best. That is all we can ask of you. And when this exam is over, the rest of your life begins. To all of our students, all the best. God's blessings in your examination. God's blessings for SE.
60 Tobagonians were recipients of housing subsidies from the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. During a ceremony held at the Shaw Park Complex on Tuesday afternoon, the ministry reaffirmed its commitment to improving living conditions in Tobago. Here's more.
Minister in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, Adrian Leons, stressed the importance of the home improvement and home construction subsidies, noting that the ceremony stands as a testament to their unwavering commitment to ensuring that the people of Tobago fully benefit from all government programs.
So as I said, this ceremony today is proof of our commitment to ensure that the people of Tobago fully benefit from all government's programs. From 2020 to present, the ministry has disbursed over 2,112 subsidies nationwide, 1,511 home improvement subsidies, and 601 home construction subsidies, addressing housing problems and reducing poverty. That is our objective.
Minister of Sport and Community Development, Shamfa Lewis, said the program highlights the power of responsive leadership and the tangible change it can bring.
When we look around, we can see the contributions, we can see the development, whether it's a brand new airport project, whether it's 2 new ferries, whether it's putting Tobago back on the self-help program after we had been cut off from self-help in 2013. Today we can boast that as it relates to home construction and refurbishment and so on, this government has invested over $25 million distributed to Tobagonians under the service of Ayanna Webster-Roy and Shamfa Lewis at the cabinet.
Minister Ayanna Webster-Roy stated that 56 Tobagonians were able to benefit from having access to the grant.
Approximately 56 Tobagonians will be benefiting today. Now that's 56 Tobagonians who didn't sit back and wait for the grant to just appear in their account. That's 56 Tobagonians who took the initiative, who took the step to ensure that they were able to benefit from the national pie. And I often say as Tobagonians, we're too laid back. We have to be proactive.
The initiative forms part of a broader national housing strategy aimed at promoting safer, more sustainable communities. Tobago residents have long advocated for greater access to government programs. The ministry has promised continued investment in similar projects in the months ahead, with a focus on transparency, accessibility, and long-term impact. Kimberly Mitchell, Tobago Updates Television News.
THA Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner has won her legal battle against the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service over a search warrant issued during an alleged fraud investigation. High Court Judge Frank C. Prasad ruled on Tuesday that the Justice of the Peace acted unlawfully when he granted the warrant in July 2023. The warrant was squashed after the judge found it was based on inaccurate information, including claims that Brebner was illegally employed by the THA despite her being an elected official. Although the case against the Commissioner of Police was dismissed, the judge stressed that warrants must be issued with careful consideration of citizens' rights. Brebner, who was never charged, expressed gratitude for the ruling, stating it confirmed the warrant should never have been issued. The matter stemmed from an audio scandal which alleged that THA officials were using state resources in a political party propaganda campaign. The court also awarded costs against the Justice of the Peace. You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
Welcome to the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival on April 19th, 2025. We invite you to an evening of smooth rhythms and soulful music as the sun dips behind Buku Bay. Let all your senses be tantalized. Enjoy an array of seafood dishes, browse crafts and designs created by local artisans, and lose yourself in the soulful melodies of John Sakata, Brian McKnight,
It's undeniable that we should be together.
Bonnet Bigford,
When the lightning crack the waters and the waves roll and break.
Mikal Teja,
I go, without you, my side.
and the best of Tobago's talent. Get your physical tickets now. Tickets are also available online at islandetickets.com. Visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info or call 639-4441. The Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, April 19th at Buku Integrated Facility. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Yeah! Tobago, get ready. Stephen Marley is on his way.
From jungle to Rima, if a little matches, you.
The Rhythm and Soul Festival introduces the son of the legend, the one and only Stephen Marley. Experience the Marley Dynasty live at the Dwight York Stadium at Fusion, Easter Sunday, April 20th. The Kings reunite on one stage. Stephen Marley.
Yeah, baby, don't
Graham Smogan.
have I shown you?
Wayne Wonder.
Somebody, she is a beauty.
Cast the Band, and many more.
This song she
Tickets are going fast. Follow Tobago Festivals on Facebook and Instagram. Or call 639-4441 for more info. Fusion, April 20th at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium. The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
Well, as the April 28th general election approaches, critics have questioned the PNM-led government's contribution to national development, particularly in Tobago. However, PNM's Tobago East candidate, Ayanna Webster-Roy, addressing supporters at the Castara public meeting last night, responded, highlighting what she considers genuine representation and commendable efforts by the central government. Here's more.
In response to criticism of the PNM government, Tobago East MP Ayanna Webster-Roy highlighted her advocacy in areas such as utilities, public transportation, social services, and education. She also noted that the distribution of care packages to SEA students is one of her achievements, which was started during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have not stopped since then. Even this week, we started distributing to every school in Tobago East. And come the day of SCA, at the end of the exam, every single boy or girl in a school in Tobago East writing the SCA would walk away from that exam with their chair package. That is your MP working for all of Tobago East.
She also revealed that in discussions with Prime Minister Stuart Young, plans are underway for the arrival of 2 new interceptors to strengthen the protection of Tobago's marine space.
Prime Minister Young would have already indicated to us when he spoke in Tobago of some of his plans for us. He spoke passionately about his concern for Tobago's security and our border security. And again, he reaffirmed his commitment to the people of Tobago that when we receive those high-speed interceptors, that 2 would once again be allocated for specific use in Tobago.
As Minister of Gender and Child Affairs, she noted that with international support, they launched the first National Action Plan for Women, Peace and Security, now a model for other Caribbean nations. Under this plan is Spiced TT, a crime prevention initiative set to be implemented in Golden Lane and Mount St. George.
So I said to my permanent secretary, you're going with Golden Lane, because I saw the reports coming out from Golden Lane. And Denise, because I saw the reports coming out from Mount St. George, I committed Mount St. George. So in Tobago, we will be having Spice TT implemented in Golden Lane and Mount St. George.
Jo Shaldan, Tobago Updates, Television News.
Education remains one of the most powerful tools in shaping our students into responsible adults, contributing members of society. Last night, opposition leader Kamla Prasad-Bisesa addressed a United National Congress meeting where she outlined several proposed reforms to the education system should her party be elected in the upcoming general election. Here's more.
Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar, speaking at the UNC's public meeting on Monday night, announced plans to implement new incentives for teachers should her party be elected into office. She believes this approach will motivate teachers to go the extra mile, ultimately improving the overall academic performance of students across the country.
When UNC wins, education also wins. Teachers will benefit. Teachers will benefit from the introduction of a financial incentive program for dedicated and high-performing teachers based on students' exam results.
She also stated that she will introduce an anonymous platform that allows students who are victims of bullying to report incidents confidentially so they can be addressed effectively.
Students will benefit when the UNC wins, because we will introduce an anonymous anti-bullying app which will allow our students to report incidents as well as to implement parent patrols in all schools.
Persad-Bissessar proposed that parents spend a day within schools to observe and identify ways they can assist with improving the education system.
They should spend at least one day at the school of their child, working with the deans, working with the teachers, working with the TTPS and student support services to see what goes on and to help to maintain discipline in our schools.
She also proposed mandatory medical screenings for students to detect signs of physical, sexual, and substance abuse, as well as malnutrition. In addition, she announced plans to provide after-school meals for students enrolled in the school feeding program. Joshel Dan, Tobago Updates Television News.
And that political meeting took place on Monday night and not last night. Our weather report is up next.
The following is a paid political advertisement.
To the youth of Tobago, the future of our island depends on you. I intend to remain right there with you, creating opportunities for you to succeed, whether it's in education, employment, or entrepreneurship. My job is to create the relevant support and access to resources for you to thrive. Keep pushing, keep believing, and I will keep fighting for your future. I am Shamfa Ashaki Kojo Lewis, your People's National Movement candidate for Tobago West. All in for Tobago, all in for TNT.
That was a paid political advertisement.
Now for a look at the weather update from the TNT Met office. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with light to moderate occasional showers throughout the night. Tonight's temperature drops to 25 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, partly cloudy intervals at times accompanied by brisk showers will interrupt mostly hazy and breezy conditions. Overnight will be dull with a few brief showers. Daytime temperatures are set to reach 31 degrees Celsius with a heat index of 35 degrees Celsius. Seas moderate to rough with waves 2.5 to 3 meters in open waters and 2 to 2.5 meters in sheltered areas. The sunrise is expected at 5:54 and the sunset at 6:14. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. As a recap of our headlines, Chief Secretary calls for greater economic diversification amid Dragon gas steel failure. Over 1,000 Tobago students to sit SCA exams tomorrow. Search warrant against Dr. Faith Brebner struck down and 60 Tobagonians received housing subsidies. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards, thanking you so much for joining us and wishing you a great night.